Hey everyone, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about gear today because I was thinking about one piece that I use all the time that's pretty integral to what I do with music when I play live and all the different ways that I use it. So I'm going to talk about the Fishman Loudbox Artist amp specifically today. Many of the things I talk about are going to be applicable to all of the amps in the lineup. The Loudbox series by Fishman. There's I have a list right here. It's the Micro, the Mini Charge, which is supposed to be like battery rechargeable, so you don't have to plug it in. Artist, which is what I have, and Performer. So that's really 5 different versions and 4 different sizes, if you will. So I have the Loudbox Artist right here, and it's a pretty handy little guy. So all of the things I talk about will be relative to this model, okay? And I want to talk about 3 different ways I use it. First, we'll talk about the features. This is 120 watts of solid state with 2 channels. The channels are pretty identical. So you have the 2 inputs here. They have a pad, which is like a 10 decibel pad, I think. Gain knob, 3-band EQ, a feedback dial, which if you're having feedback, you can kind of dial in the frequency that it is going to notch out. And then there's 2 effects units. There's A and B. A is all reverb and delays, and B has like a chorus and a flanger and then a slapback echo as well. There's a headset input. You can send Bluetooth to this, and there's also an auxiliary input. There's a tweeter somewhere here, maybe I think right here, that you can turn up or turn down. You can mute channels. There's 24-volt phantom power. You're sending something with phantom power or trying to send phantom power to it. And then there's 3 different outputs on the back. There is an output for each channel 1 and 2, and then there's a mix DI output for summing all of it together in one output. So pretty handy thing. I'd say it weighs, I mean, you could probably find the weight somewhere. I think it's about 25 pounds. My version, that is the Artist. And I just want to talk about 3 ways that I use it because it is a great piece of gear. Okay, so the first way that I use this is probably the most obvious way that you would use this gear, which is as a PA. So a lot of the gigs I do are a couple hours in some sort of establishment like a restaurant or a bar, and they usually don't have sound because it's a bar. You're in the corner of some room or something. Maybe you're on a patio, and you need to bring your own sound. When it's just me solo, this thing is perfect. It has 2 inputs, as I said. One can be for my guitar, one can be for my voice. Has reverb for each one. So if I want to dial in some reverb, different EQ, different gain, so I can get the levels going. And it's I found the Artist at 120 watts is plenty loud for most of the gigs. In the 3+ years I've had it, there's only been 1 gig that I felt like I was pushing it that was really because I was getting close to feeding back because of the live mic for my vocal. The louder I was pushing it, it was doing fine, but it was starting to feed back and it was getting harder to control that. But for the most part, this works for pretty much everything I do, and it's just plug and play. I find a plug and plug it in. One thing I will say for all of these applications is please use a circuit breaker or a power strip for this, because I've heard some stories of just, old restaurants or old bars that have a power surge or bad power and people losing this because it didn't survive the power surge. So please do that. But if you're going to use this PA, it's really great for solo singer-songwriters. Even if you're playing on a piano or something, it would plug in great here. And I might even use it for a very clean jazz guitar, but I'm sure if you're a jazz player, you'll want to use like those Hendrickson amps or the DV amps, but this is really, really great and could do that as well. So my second use case for this is as a DI. So we talked about the features of the amp when I got started here, and here are the inputs. You get a closer look of channel 1 and channel 2, the gain, the EQ, the effects, some of the anti-feedback things, and the master volume over here. But on the back, you'll see all of the external outputs. Okay, and there's 3 different ways that you can send this out. So there have been instances where maybe I get to a venue and they have speakers, but they don't have a mixing console or a mixing board. And this is perfect for that, for what I do if I'm playing solo, because I can send my guitar and my microphone into this, and I can basically EQ it, do what a mixing board would do, and send out to house. So it's really good. Sometimes I'll just leave it in my car. I bring it with me. I might get to the venue, don't know exactly what their sound situation is. This is great for that. I do have another DI, but this can do both my vocal and my guitar, so that's great. The third use case for this, it pairs with the second one, which is the DI, but I also like to use this as a monitor. So when I'm using this as a DI, I can turn this around to face me and get my wedge. It is a kickback slanted kind of cabinet, so it will serve as a great wedge for a monitor, and yeah, it works great for that. But even if you're not using it as a DI, I've had some places that have speakers but they don't have monitors, so I will send the monitor signal to this right in front of the band, and then I have basically a wedge for the band to hear my vocals or my guitar or whatever. So if I'm playing with a full band, this is just as helpful because I have an extra wedge if I need it in the car. So there's 3 uses. I mean, it's a PA, a DI, and a wedge monitor. So tell me your experience, in the comments if you have a good experience with these. I've loved this. I know there are some critiques about its sound. It is a little strident. You just need to tame the highs, I think. And if you have a pedal before that has compression or EQ, that can really help kind of tame some of the more strident frequencies in the speaker. But overall, currently they run around $800 MSRP. I did not get this for $800. It was like 2 years ago before everything got crazy. I think I got this for close to $600, but on the used market, probably even less. So please let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you like this kind of thing. If you like the gear stuff, you like more music talk, whatever, maybe a little both. But yeah, happy gigging and take care, guys.